Okay, glycolysis is the first step in cellular respiration. And in glycolysis, you transform one glucose molecule into two pyruvic acids. And to get glycolysis started, the cell gives two ATP molecules to the glucose molecule, and then NAD plus comes and takes a pair of electrons to form NADH, and NADH goes straight to electron transport chain, and then ADP comes and produces ATP, so you end up producing 4 ATP, even though they gave you 2, so that produces a net gain of 2 ATP, and so that's it. The next stage in cellular respiration is the Krebs cycle. During the Krebs cycle, the second stage of cellular respiration, pyruvic acid produced in glycolysis is broken down into carbon dioxide in a series of energy-extracting reactions. Pyruvic acid from glycolysis enters the matrix, the innermost compartment of the mitochondrion. Once pyruvic acid in the mitochondrion matrix, NAD+ accepts 2 high-energy electrons to form NADH. 1 molecule of CO2 is produced. The remaining 2 carbon atoms react to form acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA combines with a 4-carbon molecule to produce a citric acid. And citric acid is broken into a 5-carbon compound and then into a 4-carbon compound, and then 2 molecules of CO2 are released. And the 4-carbon compound can then start the cycle again by combining with acetyl-CoA. Energy released by the breaking of rearranging of carbon bonds is captured in forms of ATP, NADH, and FADH2. For each turn of the cycle, 1 ADP molecule is converted into ATP. ATP then can directly power the cell's activities. The electron carriers NAD+ and FAD each accept pairs of high-energy electrons to form NADH and FADH2. And NADH and FADH2 are used in the electron transport chain to generate ATP. Yeah. The electron transport chain is the third section of cellular respiration. The electron transport chain uses high-energy electrons that they take from glycolysis in the Krebs cycle, and they convert the ADP into ATP. NADH and FADH2 pass along their high-energy electrons to the electron carrier proteins in the electron transport chain. At the end of the transport chain, the electrons all combine with hydrogen and oxygen ions to form water. Energy generated by the transport chain is used to move hydrogen ions against a concentrating gradient across the inner mitochondrial membrane and into the intermembrane space. Hydrogen ions pass back across the mitochondrial membrane through the ATP synthase, causing the ATP synthase molecule to spin. During each rotation, the ATP synthase attaches a phosphate to ADP, and it produces ATP. To get started, the cell gives 2 ATP molecules to the glucose. Okay, Anna. Well, the first step in cellular respiration is glycolysis, and it's the first step. No way! And you need some help with your class teaching? I will help you with this. 4 ATP molecules are producing a net gain of 1, guys. A net gain of 2, I mean. A net gain acid is the first compound formed in this series of reactions. The Krebs cycle is also known as the citric acid cycle because the citric acid is the first compound
formed in a series of reactions.
You just said that.
I know.